Welcome to the Smart Weight Loss Coaching Podcast. I'm Dr. Lisa Oldson, a board-certified weight loss medicine specialist and certified life coach. In this podcast, I'll share fresh insights and effective techniques for incorporating mindset, habit change, and proven science into your life. Are you ready to achieve sustainable weight loss, wellness, and longevity? Then let's jump in and lose weight the smart way. Welcome back. Don't let this depress you, but by the time we're 65 or older, about a third of us will experience some degree of cognitive decline. According to an article published in JAMA Neurology, 32% of seniors have changes in their brain health ranging from mild cognitive impairment to full-blown dementia. According to a group funded by the NIH and the National Institute on Aging, the annual cost of dementia in 2025 was over $780 billion. This obviously has serious financial implications for all of us, in addition to the devastation dementia causes for the person who develops it, as well as to their families. But I wouldn't bring it up here if there was nothing to be done, of course. I've got some good news. There's pretty incredible evidence that we can lower the risk of dementia significantly by adopting certain healthy habits. Today, we're going to focus on nutrition and brain health. Let's start by talking about a diet that was built from the ground up to protect your brain, the MIND diet. MIND stands for Mediterranean-Intervention for Neurodegenerative Delay. And yes, that name was clearly built backward from the acronym MIND. Dr. Martha Claire Morris and her team at Rush University in Chicago, working with Dr. Frank Sachs from Harvard School of Public Health, developed the MIND diet. They actually took two diets already known to protect your heart, the Mediterranean diet and the DASH diet. That stands for Dietary Approaches to Stop Hypertension, DASH. And they asked a different question. Which specific foods within those patterns actually move the needle on brain health and dementia risk? What they came up with is a shorter, more targeted list. The MIND diet asks you to load up on 10 brain-healthy food groups. Leafy greens. Think spinach, kale, arugula, at least 6 servings a week. Other vegetables every day. Berries, specifically blueberries and strawberries have the most research behind them. Nuts, beans, whole grains, fish, poultry, extra virgin olive oil as your primary fat, and if you drink, wine in moderation. On the flip side, it asks you to go easy on these things: red meat, butter and margarine, cheese, pastries and sweets, and fried or fast food. Now, here's what got me excited enough to build an episode around this. In the original 2015 study out of Rush, people who most closely followed the MIND diet had a 53% lower risk of developing Alzheimer's disease compared to those who followed it the least. And here's the part I love. Even people who only followed it moderately well, not perfectly, saw a 35% reduction in their Alzheimer's risk. You don't need to be a perfectionist about this diet to get a real benefit. There's newer research that keeps building on this. A large multi-ethnic study out of the University of Hawaii Cancer Center, following almost 93,000 adults, found that eating this way was protective even in people who only started following the MIND diet later in life. So if you're 60 and just now hearing about the MIND diet, you have not missed your window of opportunity. I do want to give you the honest, balanced picture, though, because that's what you deserve. A rigorous randomized trial published in the New England Journal of Medicine in 2023 put the MIND diet head-to-head against a general healthy control diet, both with mild calorie restriction for 3 years. That trial didn't find a significant difference in cognitive outcomes between the two groups. What I take from that, this isn't a magic bullet that works overnight, and a 3-year window may simply be too short to see a difference show up on cognitive testing when both groups were already eating fairly well. But the large body of long-term observational evidence, tracking people for years and even decades, consistently points toward real protective benefits. That's why I still think this is one of the best frameworks we have. Now, there are two science-backed additions that I want to add to this conversation because some things have changed since the MIND diet was first introduced over 10 years ago. First, ultra-processed foods. We're learning that how processed your food is may matter for your brain, separate from reading basic nutrition labels. A systematic review pooling data on over 867,000 adults found that people eating the most ultra-processed food had a 44% higher risk of dementia, including mild cognitive impairment and vascular dementia, compared to those eating the fewest ultra-processed foods. And in modeling from the Framingham Heart Study, researchers estimated that swapping out just 10% of your ultra-processed food intake for whole or minimally processed foods was associated with roughly a 17% lower dementia risk. That's a small swap for a meaningful improvement. Second, alcohol. This one might surprise some of you because the MIND diet, like the Mediterranean diet, has traditionally included a glass of wine. But a massive 2025 study out of Oxford, Yale, and Cambridge, combining observational data on over 500,000 people with genetic data on 2.4 million more, found no protective effect from light drinking on the brain. Dementia risk rose right along with how much alcohol people consumed, with no safe floor identified. The old idea that a nightly glass of red wine was protecting your brain looks like it was largely an illusion of the data, possibly because people who cut back on drinking later in life were already getting sick. So my honest take, if you don't drink, please don't start. If you do drink, less is better for your brain. Full stop. Before I walk you through exactly how to put this into practice without overhauling your entire kitchen, let's hear a quick word from our sponsor. Just kidding. It's still me, Dr. Lisa Oldson, physician and founder of Weight Loss Strategy Lab. If you'd like to dive deeper into last week's topic about habit change, we have a little something for you. Please go to our website at smartweightlosscoaching.com, and under the podcast section, you'll find the link to a free worksheet that goes along with last week's podcast episode. Simply click the button and we'll hook you up. And if you like that worksheet, you might also want to check out our full workbook that accompanies episodes 1 through 50 of the podcast. And we're back. Here's the good news. The MIND diet for dementia prevention isn't about perfection, and it isn't about deprivation. And here's something else worth saying clearly. This same way of eating that protects your brain is also just plain good for your overall health. And it's likely to support weight loss just as effectively as other well-studied healthy eating patterns like the standard Mediterranean diet. This isn't a specialized brain diet that competes with your weight goals. It works alongside them and supports them. Let me offer you a few practical starting points for the MIND diet. Actually, let me give you a top 10 list of nutrition changes you can make to reduce your dementia risk to make this easier. Number 1, eat leafy greens most days of the week, aiming for at least 6 servings. That's 6 per week, not 6 per day. Number 2, add a serving of berries, especially blueberries or strawberries, several times a week. Keep a bag of frozen berries on hand just to throw into your oatmeal or plain yogurt, since frozen fruit is just as nutritious as fresh and a lot more convenient. Number 3, include a handful of mixed nuts most days. My grandparents, who lived into their mid and late 90s, ate a small handful of nuts each afternoon to tide them over until dinner. If you're a salty, crunchy person and you struggle to avoid chips, snack on a small handful of walnuts or almonds instead. Number 4, add beans or lentils to your meals at least 3 times a week. You might consider making a big pot of bean or lentil soup on the weekend so you have an easy fiber and protein-rich lunch ready to go. Or if you can't bring yourself to eat soup this time of year, which I get, try making grain and bean bowls with veggies. I had one yesterday from a food truck of all places. It was made with black beans, cooked carrots, cauliflower, cabbage, and some kind of salsa. It was completely healthy and delicious. I'm a big fan of grain bowls and bean bowls. Number 5, choose whole grains over refined ones. For example, seek out whole grain bread or steel-cut oats. Number 6, eat fish at least once a week, ideally a fatty fish like salmon. A lot of people find fish intimidating to cook, so here's an easy hint for salmon, and it works for a lot of other fish too. Whether you're cooking it on the grill or baking it at 400 degrees in a preheated oven, think about cooking it for 10 minutes for every inch of thickness. In other words, if your salmon is just shy of an inch thick, let's say it's about 8/10 of an inch, then cook it for 8 minutes total. It's so easy. I like to take a metal spatula and press it gently into the thickest part of the fish when I think it should be about done. If it slides right through like a knife cutting through warm butter, it's ready. If you meet resistance, it needs a little longer. Okay, on to number 7. Cook primarily with extra virgin olive oil instead of butter. Extra virgin olive oil and mixed nuts have both been shown to lower the risk of stroke and cardiovascular disease, which track pretty closely with dementia and brain health. Number 8, limit red meat, fried food, and fast food. Number 9, cut back on ultra-processed ingredients in your food where you can. Even small swaps help. And number 10, reconsider alcohol. If you drink, know that there's no proven safe amount for brain health. The less, the better. All right, friends, it's time to think about your NBA, your next best action for today. Remember that protecting your brain health starts in midlife, not when you're already in your last decade. So while it's never too late to benefit from healthy nutrition, I really mean that. The earlier we create healthy eating habits, the better for our brain health, our heart health, our metabolic health, weight, and longevity. If you're passively listening, now is the time to sit up straight and engage. I want you to give some serious thought to which one of these 10 nutrition changes you're going to make to protect your brain as you age. Remember, closely adhering to the MIND diet can reduce your risk of developing Alzheimer's dementia when you're older by as much as 53%. So let's start with one change that you're ready to tackle today. You've got this. Thanks so much for listening. If you'd like more support during your smart weight loss journey, check out our group coaching program at smartweightlosscoaching.com. Until next time, stay well and stay smart.